Alright, I'll be picking this EC660. It's an ABUS. It's got 6 active pins with 4 passives. Helps with a key mastering program. So that way you can have a master key and maybe use the same bidding, but just change out the passive pins. Passive pins really don't affect your picking too much. I'll be going back to front, front to back. The jiggle test, I'll kind of be going over it, looking for the top of the pin so I know where it is, and just pushing down on it. And then if I find it binding, we'll give a little twist, kind of go around that tip to push it down. Hardest part for me is actually maintaining. You don't want to hit this curve because then I'm trying to give myself a steady base to go off of, so I don't want to go too far in. That's probably half my problem. All right, let's start out. 1, nothing on 1, nothing on 2. A little bit of binding on 3. Nope, not 3. 4, 5, 6. Nope. A little binding on 5. Nothing on 4. Little click on 3. Not sure on 2, and now we're back to 1. 1 feels like a click. 2, nothing. 3, nothing. 4, a little click. Not sure if I'm on 5 or 6 right now. Just slowly working my way back. I think I'm on 3. Little click on 3. All right, now we're slowly lighten up the tension feel for each one. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2, nothing on 3, nothing on 4, nothing on 5, 6. Not sure. Work my way back. Okay, there's binding on 4, I believe. Okay, good. Got a little bit of rotation. 1 feels set. 2 feels set. 3 is set. Not sure about 4, 5. And not sure about 6. Check it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little click on 4. Feeling for 5. Not sure if it's set. And 6. 6 is not set. 1, 2, 3 feels set. Little click on 4. Not sure if 5 is what's holding me up. 6 is definitely not set. Okay, I'm gonna hold a lot of tension to feel what's binding. 1, 2, 3 is, all those are set. 4 is not set. 5, that's binding. Little click, I believe, on 5. Feeling 6, working my way back out. 1 is set. 2 is set. 3 is set. 4 fell through. 5, 6 is binding. Good click on 6. 5 is binding. Good click on 5. I'm not sure what is binding left. 1 is set. 2, I don't know if it's set. Really big wiggle. 3 is definitely set. 4, little fall through. 5. Got to click on 6. Okay, so 1, set. 2, set. 3, set. 4, binding. Click on 4. 5 feels good, and 6. Click on 6. Back to 5. 5 feels set. 4. 4 feels set. 3. 3 feels set. Change these 1 and 2. 1 is set. 2 is set. Okay, I'm going to lighten up tension a lot. Give a little jiggle to all of them. Maybe a T-pin is getting caught up and I might be able to get it by just kind of tapping them all in. Now I'm going to hold a lot of pressure. Try to find what's binding. 1, 2, and 3 feel good. 4 is binding. Click on 4. 5. 6. There we go. 5. So I had to apply a lot more pressure. Took a lot longer than I wanted. But that was me, as you can see, going through each single test, jiggling it. So would if I like to make that go faster? Yes. And ironically enough, I'm going to put this into the speed picking because there is none right now, which is the only reason why I'm putting it in, just to put one on there so that way there's kind of one for every single lock, but it was not particularly fast. All right, so now when you gut this, it is going to be, I mean, maybe you want to use a shim on it. I'm not going to use a shim on it. I used this 3D printer one just because I'm going to put it back together with this tighter one. So watch, you'll see. I got this one, so much, just hard to put on and off. So we'll put that there for now. All right, so taking this apart. So this has a lot of pins in it that you don't want to go everywhere. So in my technique, what I will do is I will put this in. What I'll do is I will go counterclockwise. If you're holding it like this, well, it's counterclockwise, I guess, no matter what, but I hold it with the Bible facing me and give a little cant upward, okay? Then I'll grab a follower, focus on applying equal pressure on both sides, okay, and get my finger behind here, okay? So now I held all of these pins. So I'm going to hold, you can see the 6, see the 6? There's a 6. I'm going to put my finger here and you can see the 4. And there's the 4. See the 4? You have the first 3 and then there's 4. So you can put 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these out. But can you see them? Yeah, they're all the same length. So I just dropped them all out. And I'll just hold my finger here and you can see them. So let's readjust these. So you have these ones that were on the last 4 slots. And again, these really don't affect picking too much. Now, see that little guy right there? That little guy needs to be in there because if you don't have it in there, you'll have a pin drop into there. So we need to make sure that guy's in there. See it? I'm going to drop him out. And he's dropped out. We'll put him there. And now we'll take these guys out real quick. Okay? Now there's not really anything left to fall out. So we'll put this in. So first one is a torpedo key pin. A torpedo key pin. Another torpedo key pin. A regular, it almost looks like a T pin key pin with a little bit of an edge on it. There's another torpedo and another kind of like a T pin key pin. But if you look, there is no milling. If there'd be milling, it would really penalize you. Really would penalize you. If you look, see, little T pin key pin. So, I mean, sorry, not T pin, that's a torpedo. This is what I was talking about. If you look, these two have the tiniest edge. If we can get that focus, see that tiny, tiny edge. So a little bit of a T pin key pin. All right, now let's pull these out. Okay. Here's the first one. Standard. Spring. Second one. Standard. Spring. Third one. Standard. Spring. Next one. Barrel, which is set up very much like a T-pin, just obviously both sides. I'm going to push this in. We'll look at the back side. Okay, another barrel. And finally, a spool, which sometimes I was picking this other times. Let's get these out of here. Sometimes picking this other times, I actually had, you could feel the spool a lot more of how to counter rotate. So I think that I was going a little light on tension and I was able to get past it without it. So I'll give you a close up. So that spool, I've actually had it affect me a lot more when I was putting a lot more pressure on, but I've done a lot less. Now, this guy kind of warrants putting back together. just because it's kind of more difficult. So in case anyone needs to know for reassembly. So we'll just reassemble this really quick. Really quick is, you know, obviously subjective. So bear with me in the event you're still following. I'm going to start from 3 back here. So let's put this guy back together. There's the third one. Okay. This is the 4th one. Sorry, this is the 5th one. Very long driver pins. Put the barrel back in. Okay, so that guy's in. Well, let's put these. There's 3. Again, this guy has a little more difficulties. That's why I'm just spending the time to show you putting it back in. If you are working on gutting and reassembling, just a technique as you slide that back in. I'm pushing with the follower, which allows me to push it back in. So that's kind of how I control putting it back together. But again, if you are doing blue bolts, I'm sure you're kind of used to it. But now, so I push it in, and then I push. I'm pushing hard on the follower in this direction, which holds it in place for me. All right, so those are in. So now the difficult part, right? So loading this guy back up. So basically, you have your actives and your passives, right? You can see the little edge that holds the passives. Let's see if we can get that. See the little edge? All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to load up my key pins. Not worried about the key right now. I'm going to hold my thumb over it. So my thumb's holding both sides. Get this guy in. Don't forget him. Because if you didn't, as you have this one coming through, it in theory, it should not fall into there. So maybe that's just drill protection, but I definitely would not forget that. All right, so now I'm holding my thumb. This is my technique, holding my thumb, opening this backside. So we're dropping where they belong, which is the last 4. If anything gets stuck, realistically, it's just springs holding them in. So you can use, you know, a rubber mallet to kind of use impact to get it past. So now that I have those, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean these in this direction. I'll put the key in, because why not? Okay, now everything's lined up, right? Got the key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my fingers back here. So I'm holding the key like this. And again, you can use, by the way, those things in there run off a groove that I didn't show you. That's at the top of here. You can actually see that groove right there. That's what the passives work off of, that little groove right there. Anyway, so I'm going to hold this. So I'm using friction with these 2 fingers. So it's hard to push this in. I'm frictioning off of these 2 fingers. So all I'm doing is kind of getting this. I want this to be upward, so I use gravity. I'm going to hold my fingers right here, and I'm going to basically force. So I'm pushing very hard on this side. Push it in, pushing hard, holding my fingers there, and that's it. And I was pushing while I was pinching with this hand. And now it's together. I'm gonna hold my finger here, get that key out. Now the pins are helping me hold it together. Now I can put this last pin back together. This drops into this hole right here. And I actually like to use my follower to push this back in. So I actually use my followers like this. Very difficult. See why I don't use this one. There we go. Now that guy's back in. And now everything's back together. Everything works. And that's all I got for you.